Hello and welcome to this guide for the latest score attack. After putting her as the last boss of the tower, the devs decided that we haven't had enough of her and once again make us face the Mermaid Witch. They also added 2 new difficulty levels to score attack. Rank 10 was the hardest last time, and while rank 11 is doable for most endgame players, rank 12 is on a whole other level. The boss in rank 12 hit incredibly hard. The only way to beat this difficulty that I know of is to have the perfect team with high ascensions, or using a hyper-defensive strategy that doesn't give a lot of points. I will link some rank 12 clears done by other players in the description. If you're interested, go check it out. Now let's actually talk about the fight. She is pretty different from her fight in story and tower mode. Instead of getting a buff every turn, she has a permanent damage reduction. You can see how many stacks of it she has next to her health bar. Every attack decreases it by 1 and she gets 5 stacks every turn. Unlike her fight in nightmare difficulty, you don't need to constantly apply an ailment on her, so if you're using a debuffer you don't need to equip her with ailment hit rate and can instead use speed or MP recovery. Although she still resists stuns, so Felicia is not that good. She has an AoE attack that she will use every turn alongside one of her skills. She weakens your team the first turn, but it's only a 60% chance, so you can try to reset the fight until it only affects 1 or 2 characters. At the very least you don't want it to hit your defender because it will reduce the strength of your shield. Her skills rotation end with an attack buff, making the fight harder after each rotation unless you can remove it. The scoring criteria are the same as the previous score attack. So to deal as much damage as possible we need to remove all her damage reduction by attacking as much as possible. Use characters who can advance the action of your team or themselves, as well as follow-ups and counter-attacks to do it as fast as possible. Her break bonus is also pretty low, so we can maximize our damage by removing the breaker from our team and using 3 supports. But keep in mind that if you don't have a lot of characters with an elemental advantage on the boss, breaking her without a breaker might take too long. She's really fast, so if you're using a defender, having your team constantly protected will be pretty hard, especially at the start of the fight where she will act before your defender can put up a shield. But this problem can be solved with the power of action advance. Unsurprisingly, the character whose banner is running alongside the score attack is perfect for the fight. Moemura gives a bunch of speed and action advance to your team, allowing your defender to safely shield every turn and to remove a lot of stacks of damage reduction by giving a lot of actions to your team. She also buffs the damage of your special attacks, which is what matters the most for score attack, and she generates a lot of skill points so you barely have to manage your skill usage. Mommy might have better buffs than Moemura, but she gives less action advance because she can't activate her ability every turn. This also means that she can't action advance your defender at the start of the fight to protect against the first hit. Hazuki can only action advance one character, but it's a 100% action advance, instantly giving a turn to the character of your choice, most likely your defender if you're not using a breaker, and to your attacker once it's time to deal the finishing blow. The problem with Hazuki is that she consumes a lot of skill points, so using her without her ascension too, that make her generate an extra 1 with her special attack is complicated. Himika is also an option, but not only will she give the worse increase in damage out of them. She delays the enemy action instead of advancing your own, which is kinda the same result in normal fights, but in score attack this doesn't help us clear faster for extra points. She also need an ascension level to act before the boss the first turn. Unlike Mommy and Homura, both Hazuki and Himika don't deal any damage with their skill, which means it won't reduce the damage reduction of the boss, or improve our already low breaking capabilities. Action advance is good, but with 3 support slot we can easily bring 1 or 2 more supports to increase our damage. Tsuruno is obviously a good choice since she's the best defensive buffer in the game and allow any damage dealer to crit semi-consistently. Ayam is a pretty good debuffer and she can also remove the boss attack buff, which is useful if you take too long to break her, as she can be pretty dangerous if she stack it too much. Ran is an excellent choice for this fight. She's the best debuffer in the game, but most importantly she launches a ton of follow-up attacks, completely melting the boss damage reduction, and also dealing a decent amount of break gauge depletion thanks to her elemental advantage. The best sustain for the fight and all score attacks is Sayaka. She's the only sustain that also increase your damage, and her counters will help decrease the damage reduction. If you don't have Sayaka, any other sustain will do. Kyoko and Ichiyo are the best damage dealers for the fight. They both have elemental advantage, a single target special attack, and can buff their offense. Kyoko can also remove a lot of stacks of damage reduction thanks to her high speed. Ichiyo needs to crit to reach her max damage potential, which might require you to restart if you miss the crit, but this is less of a problem if you have Tsuruno. Momoko is also really good, but unfortunately, her special attack has a lower multiplier since it hits 3 targets. Hamura on the other hand has significantly lower performances. While Momoko's damage is focused on her special attack, making her deal a lot of damage despite the AoE. Hamura damage output is split between all of her attacks, and the fact that the boss resists her certainly doesn't help. At least she can help remove a few stacks of damage reduction with her follow-ups if the boss still has some when you break her. If you don't have a 5-star attacker, your best options are Masera and Asuka due to their elemental advantage. As I said earlier, there's no need to use a breaker. But if you do, the best options are single target breakers with elemental advantage and the 5 stars breakers. That's it for this video. My clear of the score attack at rank 11 will be in the description in case you want to watch it. If you found this guide useful, subscribe for more, and if you have any question, don't hesitate to leave a comment. Goodbye and see you soon.